Oh, you could get on.
Hello,
Hi.
I see Alan.
So it is working.
Are you running the meeting, Sue?
I am. Oh, you're talking to your wife or to me?
Yeah.
We should have 4 of us in here. And just for my own understanding, I'm going to say people's names. I see Susan and Alan and Missy and Dana. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yay, good. I'm going to mute you just because this is being recorded. But before I do, is there anything that you want me to know? You can always give me a little chat message. Anything special? I'm really glad you're here. So I'm going to ask that we start standing just for a moment. So I don't know whether you want your camera to be on that part, but it's up to you. So I'm going to mute you. I hate to do that, but that's what I'm doing. Okay, and as we stand, it's just kind of an alert thing. I just want us to be able to feel pretty alert. So you won't be able to see all of me, but basically, I want you to feel your feet, your spine, your breath, and it's up to you. Sometimes I ask people to put their hands on their ribs just for a moment, maybe even into the back ribs and the front ribs, just to feel your breath. So you're just going to feel that you can inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And I just really want you to get some air into the rib cage. So you can take your arms by your side if you want to. You can bring them to heart center. But it's basically to be aware of your breath. We're going to take 4 breaths here before we even start. So inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Sometimes we don't take full deep breaths, and I want you to right in the beginning. And just notice if the shoulders can get any little ease in them, and can your sternum soften? Can your jaw soften? Can you be at the same time alert and also at ease? And then with your eyes closed, just set an intention for yourself, something very minor, something big, something that's purely personal to you for this time that we've set aside. And then go ahead and blink your eyes up and take your arms down by your side and just kind of shake things out a little bit, just shake the feet out. I sometimes tell you this story that earlier this summer, I fell and I landed right on my wrist. And the first thing I wanted to do was shake it out, you know, because of compression. So that was a really good thought because that is what happens. So you just want a lot of that. And then we're just going to warm up our feet a little bit. You're just going to kind of, I call this marching, but you're going to just sort of like articulate through your feet so that you can feel your feet and your legs. And it's walking in place. And as soon as you do that, you're going to feel your legs. So we're going to avoid lying down for just a little bit, just so that we can be really alert here. And the first thing we're going to do is come into a warrior 2 pose. So you'll take your left leg. I have my left leg in front. I just prefer to talk to you about the actual leg that I'm using rather than mirroring you. And then you'll feel that your shoulders and hips can face forward, but your left knee is right over your left heel. Now, draw the abdominal muscles in, relax your shoulders, and take your arms out to the side. And then you're going to look over your left middle finger, and then just stay there a moment. Feel like you're pressing down with your arms. So the shoulders and hips are still square to the front, but you're looking over your left middle finger. And then you'll come and you'll just pivot around on your heel to come forward. So the all toes are facing forward now. And then take your hands on your hip crease and just hinge forward. So this is a wide-legged forward fold. You're just gently finding out how you're feeling here. You're just trying to let the sit bones rise toward the ceiling. Let your head, neck, and shoulders down. You can bend and straighten the knees here. They don't have to be completely straight. You can separate the toes. And then either roll up or flat back, whatever feels right to you. Shrug your shoulders when you get there. And then let's take that warrior two on the opposite side. So now you have your right leg forward. Your right knee is bent right over your right heel. And there is like a balance beam line between your right heel and your left arch. And then make sure you're not leaning too far forward or backward. You're just right in the middle here. Your arms go out to the side. And you're looking over your right middle finger, but your shoulders are nice and wide and your sternum is soft and you're relaxed here. Even though you're alert, but you are a little bit in a good place here. So I don't want you to feel anxious. From here, you're going to go ahead, take your arms down. You're going to pivot again. I'm going to show you what to do. You're pivoting on your heels, coming back to your warrior two on this side. You know, that was tricky. Then you're going to do that again. Yeah. I like this. This came from Natalie with an H. And she did it in her fusion class yesterday. It was really cool. So you're just going to keep pivoting. Right? Go to the center and then go to one side. Now the next time you pivot and go over to your right, you'll stay there and find a reverse warrior. So you're going to flip your left palm and you're going to find this nice side bend. So try not to collapse. You're just rounding up and over like there's a big beach ball here. And if you want to, you can start to take your gaze toward your right foot. It's a little different. And then come back to the center, come back to your warrior two, pivot around to the other side. So find it first, right? You have to kind of tuck your right butt cheek under. You're feeling a little stretch maybe in your inner thighs. It's a good thing. Then you're going to flip the right palm and you're going to find this reverse warrior. Remember not to collapse. It's up and over on this left side. And if you want to, you can take your gaze to look at the left foot. It's a little different. It makes me feel like I can open this a little bit more. Now, go ahead and come back to your warrior two. Now, we're going to pivot around to the right side because that was our original side. And you're going to cartwheel, frame your left foot. Now, bring your right heel off so that you're in a crescent lunge here. And we're just going to rock a little forward and backward. So you're just opening up the hamstring, opening up the psoas, feeling that your spine can both curl, it can round, and it can arch, like you're almost doing a little bit of cat-cow here. We're going to drop our back knee down. You can drop the top of the foot down, and then rise up onto the left thigh. So once you're here, just see if you can get those shoulders back over the hips. And then just notice the balance between both legs. You're not on the left one or the right one, but you're very even. If it feels right to you, I'm going to show you what I'd like you to do with your arms. You're taking your arms back and up. So you're finding this back bend here. It does not have to be like this if you don't want to. Your hands can be underneath your, around your neck here if you want to. They could also be down here and you're lifting your spine. So the arms are like this if you want to. Now you're going to go down and frame the left foot. You're going to take a twist to the left. Your right hand goes down inside your left foot and you're twisting to the left. Now the the ribs are what's twisting. Now we're going to go between these two poses. So you're going to come back to frame the left foot. You're going to come back to this upright spine and take your arms back and up. And here's your back bend. And then you're going to come back down and take your right hand on the inside of the left foot and twist. Come back up, arms go back and you're doing a back bend. And then you come back down and add your twist. Now frame the left foot. Walk your left foot away from you a little bit to get a bit of a stretch here. Now this is your choice. You can stay right here, or you could try to take the foot a little bit away from you, take your chest towards your thigh. I'm just gonna stay right here because I'm getting enough of the stretch. Some of you may want to, because I don't know where you are here, but you might want to curl the back toes. And Missy, you might want to find a little bit more of a split or not. It's up to you. Depends on how you're feeling. Either way, there is a half split or a whole split going on. When you're finished, slide that knee, that left knee bent so that you can come back into this low lunge again. So that was a lot. This isn't quite as complicated. You're just going to come onto all fours. So now the hands down, the left leg goes back, and you find your cat-cow. So you decide what you want to do here. I like to rock a little forward and backward in my cat-cow. But I just want you to find any movement that serves you in this all fours, because that was a little different way of starting. I made you all alert, I hope. That came from a class that I took earlier with Sarah Lesser at the club, and I felt like she started us, boom. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna start my gentle class, boom. So you can blame it on Sarah. Yeah, it's all good. So before we go to the other side, we're going to find a down dog. So at your own pace, if you want to do it 30 seconds from now, please do. Otherwise, you're just going to start to curl your toes and you're going to lift your hips high and find your down dog. Pedal it out, do whatever you want here. Make sure that the head, neck, and shoulders are relaxed. You can say yes and no. You're gazing at a point somewhere behind you. Your shoulders are easy, so if your shoulders come up to your ear, see if you can find a little bit of downward movement of the shoulders. Now go ahead and drop down to your knees so that you are in tabletop again. Just for a moment, just pause here a moment, because we're going to come into a plank. So to come into a plank, you're just going to take the legs back and find your plank, nice and strong. So you're going to press to the heels as much as your hands. And then this is your choice. You can do a low plank or you can do knees, chest, chin. And then I'm going to ask you to stay down. So stay down for a moment. Take your hands underneath your forehead and just kind of wiggle the hips around on the ground. So we're coming into a back bend, and I want to prepare you. So you want to still feel loose here. I want most of this work to feel really good. I don't want you to be in pain. So you're going to take your hands underneath your shoulders and then stretch your spine, stretch your legs, stretch your belly, stretch your back. Shrug your shoulders, and then start to take your chest forward and up. And you can take this as much as you want to. I'm going to ask you to experiment with this. Maybe you go up and down a little bit. Maybe you just do one and stay. It's just very satisfying to feel good about this posture. Your arms are working, your back is working, your legs, the belly, shoulders are not overworking. So the next time you're finished and you've done your swans for this moment, your cobras, you're just going to come back into child's pose. And when you're in child's pose, enjoy. Get a stretch of the hips, a stretch of your spine, a stretch of your shoulders. Release your head, neck, and shoulders. Maybe wiggle it out a little bit, get what you need. We'll come back to child's pose again, so you don't have to do it all right now, but you're going to stretch your arms forward. And from here, we're going to come to, what's the best way? I want us to come to a down dog. walk your feet to your hands so that and your hands to your feet. So you're basically in the middle of your mat. And then I just want you to hang in a forward fold. So shaking again, the head feels free, the arms are free, you might bend your knees. Now make it your choice. You can either curl up or straight back up, but I'm going to curl up. I'm going to shrug my shoulders. I'm standing again. So we're going to try to do that whole kind of thing on the other side. So what I want you to do, if you would, is come into your warrior two with your right leg forward. Yeah. Drinking water at any time is all good. This day has turned out to be so pretty. I tried to take a walk at like 8 o'clock and it was like, no, we're not doing that. No. All right, so warrior two, nice and strong. So do you remember what we did? I sort of do. I think what we're going to do is cartwheel and frame your right foot. And then pivot that left foot so that you're in this crescent lunge. And you're going to go ahead and rock backward and forward. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is drop the back knee down. Drop the back foot down and come on up onto the right thigh. Now, I think this is what we did here is I really want you to feel like your shoulders are right over your hips, your chin is in line with your pubic bone. So a lot of times we lean a little forward. So see if you can be nice and upright, and the right hip goes back as the left hip goes forward. So you're nice and even. Zip in through the belly, relax your shoulders. Now here are the arms. The arms are going to go back and up. And this is your back bend, if you choose to do it. And then you're going to frame the right foot, but keep the left hand down and twist from your ribs to the right. So we're going to do that 2 more times. So you come back to this neutral spine, and then the arms lead you into this back bend. And then again, this is kind of a little bit of a curl if you want to do that. The left arm goes down, the right ribs spin to the right, sorry. Neck comes out, or the head comes out of your shoulders. Then you come upright, hands go back. Find this back bend or any other thing that is not going to bother your shoulders because I want you to feel good. And then go ahead and frame. So last time, twisting the ribs to the right. And from here, you're going to frame out your right foot. We're going to bring that right leg forward to find a stretch in the back of the right leg. So this is your half split. I would love you to keep your hips over your knees rather than back behind them. They're over them. It's a little bit more of a balance challenge. And you can find a stretch in the back of the right leg. You can point and flex your foot if you want to. If you're feeling like it and feel like you just want to try this, you might be able to take your left leg back further and find a little bit more of a full split. Choose what you want to do here. Just getting a stretch. Either way, you're going to bring your right foot back so that the knee is bent. Foot is between your hands. And you're going to find your hands on top of that right thigh. And we're pretty much even where we were. So now this time, you're going to take your hands down to frame that right foot. You're going to bring your right foot back so that you're on all fours again. A very familiar place. You may want to circle the hips in one direction and the other. You may want to do your cat-cow again. You may want to do a child's pose. This is your choice here. Make sure at all times that your neck is not holding any extra tension. Neither are the shoulders. Neither are the hips. It's so hard. You want all of it. From here, we're coming into our down dog again. So yay for down dog, here it is. Lift your left leg and then stack your left hip over your right hip and bend that left knee and make circles of that leg. Keep your arms very strong. You don't want to bend them. Keep engaged in the armpits. Now bring that leg back so the hips are square. I'm going to try a little balance here. You're going to bend that left knee. Come so that your shoulders are over your wrists. Puff up your back a little bit, that upper back, so that you have a space to put your left leg in between your hands. Now you're going to keep your hands down. Take them a little bit in front of the left foot and launch the right leg off. So now you're on a one-legged balance here. You're in a warrior three pose. Often this right leg goes down. So if you can see yourself in your camera, you really want that right leg to be even with your hip. And if you want to try, you could take your left hand off and take your hand on your back to see if your hips are square and where that leg is. So that you might want to challenge yourself to take weight off the right hand as well. Bring your spine a little bit more parallel to the floor and ceiling. Keep the belly in, keep the shoulders relaxed, keep breathing. Put that foot back down. Find your crescent lunge with the hands down. And now with the hands up. So finding your crescent lunge. I'm going to stop a moment to look at you. I think this is a hard one. I think a crescent lunge is challenging because you don't have your heel down. That back heel is up. Now from here, you're just going to drop that back heel down. You're in a warrior two again. And then we're going to reverse the warrior just briefly. Right, so you're taking that left palm up. Now we're going into our side angle. So you're going to take this left elbow. Am I on the correct side? Yeah, okay. Left elbow. Yeah, sorry about that. So your left leg is forward in your warrior two. Yeah? So your left forearm is on the thigh. And your right bicep is by your ear. So try not to lean too much on this left leg. Let's bring our arms up and maybe take your hands back behind your neck. You find a nice long spine and a nice long neck. And nobody said this was easy. And then let's come back up into your warrior two. We're gonna go into triangle here. So you're gonna straighten your left leg. So stay here a moment. Here's your triangle. Now notice that I was here, but now I'm here. You can tell by the set of buttons that I'm now forward. And from here, you're just going to hinge, taking your left arm down, right arm up. So you can look at that right arm if you can, if that feels all right. You're still pressing down and reaching up. It's a very strong pose. Then come back up. And just for a moment, turn your left toes in. So you're in this wide straddle again. And this time we're just going to hinge our hips to one side and the other, because this is what you need in triangle. One hip, notice the one hip goes on top of the other hip. It almost gets there. Yeah. This is not a movement we make unless we had this in our past or something. We just don't do this, right? And I can feel some stiffness. Yeah, nice, Missy, that's it. All right, so we're just going to turn ourselves around so that now you're going to be in your warrior two on your right leg. So zip everything in through the belly. I didn't wear this shirt on purpose, but it's really a good one. It shows where my front is. My front isn't over here, it's over here, right? So now for a moment, we're staying here and looking over your right middle finger. You're going to flip the palm so that you can find this reverse warrior. And it's a reverse warrior. It's very strong, but you can breathe. We're going to come back up and take that right forearm on the right thigh And keep this right side nice and long, and take your left bicep by your ear. Maybe you look up at that hand. Relax your shoulders down. Take your right arm by your right bicep. Bicep by your right ear, sorry, duh. And then take them back behind your neck. And you see how we're leaning? This is a good thing. This is a straight line from your left toes to your top of your head. So my buttons should show that. Thankfully they do, good buttons. Yeah, now that's beautiful, Missy. Now you're gonna come back up and straighten that right leg. And then for a moment, take your arms down and just notice this hip hinge, because here we are again, we're coming into triangle. So now that right hip has to come over the left hip, that right arm goes down, left arm goes up. There's lots of triangles. You see one between your legs and the floor, correct? You also see one between your right arm and right leg and right torso. All good. If you want to, you can twist your rib cage. The right ribs go underneath the left to look toward the ceiling. Now, you're going to come back up, and then let's have all the toes face forward, and you're just going to walk in so that you're going to heel toe, heel toe. We're just going to take a little break here with our legs, right? So what I want you to do is you're going to do a little bit of a side bend. So typical side bend for yoga, if you'd like, is to steeple your fingers and then to take your arms, your biceps by your ears, and straighten your arms and drop your shoulders down. If that doesn't work for you, find another back bend, or another side bend, sorry. But we're going to side bend over to the right. And then come through the center to side bend over to the left. Good. And we're going nice and slowly so that you can find what you need, but we're still moving. Keep pressing down with your feet. I wasn't always able to keep my arms straight here, so I get it. If it doesn't feel good, you could bend the elbows. So you decide what feels good. We're doing one more to each. Should feel like a nice stretch, but also not collapsed. Keeping your shoulders down is hard to do here. Now just come back to the center and just take your arms through heart center. Stay here for a moment. Close your eyes, recall your intention. See if you can get back into the breath that expands your ribcage like an accordion. So we're going to add a little balance here. We're going to do more balances than usual. And I'll challenge you to decide where you want to have your arms. If your arms are here in heart center, that's very stabilizing. If they're here by your hips, that's also stabilizing. Anywhere else up here is much harder, but you decide, maybe you can just challenge yourself. We're going to start with tree. This is a very cooling pose. You're going to stand on your left leg. I'm not going to mirror you. So you're going to stand on your left leg, and remember that right leg externally rotates, and you can bring it anywhere you want to. It could be a little kickstand. It can be on the lower leg bone. It can be above the knee. It's just not on the knee. So the hips are squared, the ribs are, shoulders are squared. Yeah, nice, Dina. And whenever you feel like it, and if you don't feel like it, that's fine too. Right? And if you find any other movement in your spine, like a little bit of a lift of the chest, a lift of your eyes. If you were to move your arms, that's challenging. So I'm just going to ask you to play around with it. You could move your arms. You could also move your leg, right? We're still standing on one leg, but it's a little bit harder. And it's almost over. And then you can put that foot down. Just notice what happened. There was perhaps a little collapse on your left side. There was for me. So we're going to shake that out and start over again. So any tension in the neck or shoulders or back, that happens because we're really nervous. So the best thing you can do is breathe and just try to just relax in these balances. So balancing on your right foot, I'm going to scrunch in here. And then externally rotate the left leg. Choose where you want it. You know, every day is a little different. Square off your hips, square off your shoulders. Maybe you lift your sternum. Maybe you move your arms. Find a gaze that will steady you. Find breath that steadies and calms you. And then start moving limbs. Almost done. And if you're finished, you're finished. We're just going to come back on two legs. I'm going to suggest that when you're on two legs, really appreciate it and feel it, right? It's really nice. Sometimes I've been starting to go back to ballet classes. I used to take ballet for about 25 years, and then I took 3 years off, and God only knows why I'm back again, but I'm back again. And what I've noticed is the balance stuff. When I'm on two legs, the teacher always says, feel both legs evenly. So that's pretty cool. So when you are on two legs in any of these poses, you feel both of them. So we're going to go again and stand on our left leg. So remember, I don't want you to sink. I want you to pull up instead. This time the knee is going to lift forward. And then you're going to travel that leg behind you so that the knees are parallel. And see if you can hold on to the ankle with one or two hands. That's it, really nice, nice job. Bring it forward again, and then straighten it. Good, it's almost over. You just bend it and bring it back down. Notice if you collapsed on that side. That's my big deal. Now you're on two legs, appreciate it. Two legs evenly. Transfer the weight to the right leg. Bring your left knee up. So just gather yourself, nice and long. Now that knee is going to meet the other knee. So they're parallel here. Perhaps you grab the ankle with one or two. Good idea, Susan. Remember, it's breath and gaze and length and lifting. Bring it forward again before you put it down. Straighten it first and then put it down. Really nice. Appreciate your two legs. We're going to go to the top of our mat. Yeah, you can walk around a little bit. Always a good idea. We're going to go to the top of our mat and we'll just do some vinyasas here. Some pure vinyasas. So at the top of your mat, any which way. Stand into 2 feet, really feel them both. And then take your arms up, take an inhale here. And then exhale, hands go to heart center and you forward fold, you bend your knees, you get a nice release here of your spine. Inhale, hands can go to your shins or your thighs, whichever ones you like, to get the shoulder blades onto your back. The belly pulls up in towards your spine. You make sure you're in the front of your feet as well as the back of your feet. Go ahead and take your hands down and make your way to a plank. However you do it, could be one leg at a time, it could be jumping back, but find your plank and own your plank. And then either knees, chest, chin, or low plank, a little push-up. Then we're coming into our up dog that we already did. Belly still pulls in. And then you're going to come back into your down dog again. Very nice. We'll do that one more time. So let's walk our feet to our hands. Stand in your feet, stack your spine all the way up. Take your arms up and back down to the heart center. So we're doing that whole thing all over again. So just notice you're on two legs, feels really good. Slide the shoulders down, relax your neck and jaw. So you just want to have room in the neck area and shoulder area. Then draw the belly in, drop your tailbone down. Go ahead and open the eyes, take your arms up, find a little back bend if it serves you here. Take your hands down to heart center, all the way down, forward fold. That's your exhale.
Inhale into your long spine, get the shoulder blades onto your back. You're looking down in front of you. And then go ahead, take your hands down. Now, some of you may want to jump back into your plank if you want to. Knees, chest, chin, or low plank. Keep going. Nice. Find your back bend. Beautiful. Beautiful, Missy. And then come back into your down dog. Very, very nice. Let's drop to our knees for a moment. And then come face forward again. So on your seat. We're just going to do some stretches here. So you bring your legs all the way out to the side here. So this is, I'm pretty tight in my inner thighs. And so this is a big stretch for me. For some of you, it is not. But I did overhear someone, and see what you think about this, said that they had low back problems and just a little pain there. But her yoga instructor told her it was because she had tight adductors. So it could be that we really need this stretch. Even if you think you can do this, see if you can actually feel the stretch happening. And so we'll stay here a moment. You can take your hands behind you and kind of, lift your hips so that you can be square right on your sit bones. And from here, we're going to do a little bit of a side bend. So you can take yourself over to the side and then your other side. And if you know this version of this where you could, so I'll show this to you. You can take, because we're pretty warmed up. You can take your left hand, I'm not going to mirror you, take your left hand to the kind of the heel underneath your left foot. And then from here, nice length in your left side. Yeah, Missy, you're just going to come on over. And if you can grab that big toe, it helps. You're getting a big old stretch. You can come in and out of it. Then when you're ready, come on out. Remember to make that for yourself. Again, now this right hand, the palm is facing up, and I'm kind of sliding it under my ankle, my right ankle, just to anchor it. And then I'm trying not to lean, although it's really hard for me because this is really hard. And then I'm going to side bend over to my right, and I'm going to try to grab my right big toe without letting my left hip off. Oh my, I can't do both of those. I have to choose something that works for me. I'm going to come in and out of it. I'm trying to keep my left hip down. And then we're going to come up out of that. So that was really good. That was a long time to hold that. You're going to bring your legs a little closer together and then bring your right leg in. Just fold it in. Sit tall on the sit bones. So here we're not going to do much of anything except stay here for a moment. Nice and tall, equal weight on both sit bones. You can put something underneath this knee, right? If it doesn't feel very good. And now we're going to twist a little to the left and right. So just add a little twist. So you're kind of looking over your right shoulder and your left shoulder, feeling the twist come from the rib cage. Don't force it. And now come back to the center and twist. That's not even a twist. It's a little turn over your left leg. So I put my fingers in this hip crease because it gets pretty crunchy here. I just want some space. And I'm going to add a little back bend here. Sometimes people do it with their arms up. And then you're going to hinge forward over this left leg. So you don't want to round your low back. You could round your upper spine, but the idea is to get like the lowest ribs attached to your thigh. It's not about how far you go. It's about your spine. And you don't want to overstretch this left hamstring because I did that already, and it's really powerful. And it takes a while to recover and to heal. Then go ahead, flat back up. And what we're going to do is take this, this is a little different, so you might want to watch it first. You're going to take your hands back behind you. Actually, that's not true. I'm going to take my right hand behind me, and I'm going to kneel on this shin, and I'm going to find a little bit of a hip opening and a back bend here. And then I'm going to come down slowly. And I'm going to cross, I'm going to bring my right leg right in front. I'm going to cross the left leg. No, I'm sorry. Left leg in front, cross your right leg over. This is the hardest part about Zoom, is figuring out what side is what. All right, so I also have my thumb in this hip crease because I have really tight hip flexors. And I'm going to ask you to twist over towards your bent knee, so toward your right. Keep the belly pulled in. Make the shoulders easy. Maybe you might even want to draw the shoulder blades together a little bit. Whew. Keep stomping down with that right foot all the way down on the mat and flex your left foot. Come back to the center. Before we go to any other side, you're just going to come into this little butterfly thing. So this is my fave. This is the first pose I knew the name of, Supta Baddha Konasana, and I really loved saying it. So that's what this is. So that's a good thing. And now we're going to the other side, but I forget how we got there. Oh yeah, okay, so we had this semi-wide straddle. And now you're going to take your left leg in. Sit tall on the sit bones. And I'm going to ask that you twist to both sides. Just get used to twisting right from the rib cage. Do the best you can. Breathe, because it's hard to breathe when you're twisting because you're getting a little bit of compression. So see if you can still find yourself nice and open and breathing. Come back to the center. Make sure this right knee goes up toward the ceiling. It's not going out to the side. Remember that you can put a block underneath your knee if you want to. Now you're going to turn a little toward your right so that you can find this nice back bend. Arms can go up, chest lifts, and you're hinging forward over that right leg. Remember that you're sticking your butt out to keep your low back long. You can round your upper spine. It's more about getting the lowest rib to your thigh. See if you can breathe here and rest. Keep drawing the belly in gently. Keep drawing the ribs in gently. Nothing has to be forced. Now go ahead with a long spine. Just hinge back up. And bring this right leg right in line with your hip, cross the left leg over. So lifting tall, that right foot is flexed, that left foot is all the way down, and then, you know, some people take their arms up like this and take that elbow on the other side of the thigh. Choose what works for you to get here, and then try to be tall. Try not to collapse. That low back tends to really round here. So does the upper back. It's just a twist. I used to, when I teach Pilates, I used to say a twist is just a twist. It's nothing more. You're not, but now that I teach gyrokinesis, a twist is also an arch and a curl. So there you have it. This is just a twist. Now come back to the center. And then just undo your legs, just shake them out. We're going to come back to our mat lengthwise. And I'm going to ask you to do a reverse table. So the fingers can face you. Your knees are going to be bent. And you're just going to rise up into this reverse table. And, you know, see how it feels to really lift the hips, to really open the chest, to watch out for your neck so it has to be comfortable. I like to rock a little forward and backward here. This gets me a little different stretches. And then you're going to lower yourself down. Now, before we go down to stay, I really wanted to get those seated stretches. Before we go down to stay, I'd like to do one more balance. And people say to me, okay, well, then you just go ahead and do one more balance. No, you're going to do it with me. So we're going to roll over onto hands and knees again. And then from here, I'm going to ask you to come up onto your knees.
So we're halfway there, right? We're not standing yet, but we're kind of halfway there. And from here, I'm going to ask you without any hands, if you can, you're just going to bring that left leg forward in your lunge. You're good? Then try not to use your hands too much. See if you can curl the right toes and come into this crescent lunge. Now, you're going to press into the left leg to come into a knee lift. You've already warmed up, so you're standing on your left leg. We're coming into dancer's pose. So your left arm is up. Your right hand comes back, maybe catches the inside of that right foot. And you kick that right foot into your hand as you hinge forward. Remember, it is a back bend, first of all. So find your back bend. Keep that right knee from going out to the right so much. It's supposed to be in line with your hip. I can't look at you or else I'll be off balance, so I hope you're well. Now you're going to come out of that and put that foot down. 2 legs, yes, all good. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale into a long spine. And exhale, hands down, come onto your hands and knees again. And then round up so that you're just on your knees. So we're just going to do 1 camel here. You can curl the toes if you'd like to, just to get your heels a little closer. You can do half of a camel. You can just do camel without any attachment to your heels. But what I want you to do is almost take your hand and lift as though you're like pulling a bodysuit up. And then let's take our hands back behind the neck and lift your chest so that you're in a back bend. And then just continue that back bend. Continue looking toward the ceiling, and your eyes are like painting a little rainbow on the ceiling. And you might be ready to take one hand to one heel. Right, you might want to stay there and switch that out. Or you might be able to take both hands. Make sure you're breathing. Now come back up slowly and then sit back into child's pose. Very nice. Oh, that child's pose feels good after that. So I'm going to ask that you choose what you want to do in your child's pose. You could go into a little bit of a side bend. So if I took both arms over to the right, I would take my left hand on top of my right, getting a nice stretch everywhere, actually. And then go ahead and go over to the other side. Maybe the right hand goes on top of the left. Keep your right hip down. And then let's come back to our knees. So stand on your knees. So we're taking our right leg forward now. Okay, so without any hands, this is thanks to Richard. He's the first one who introduced us to this. Like, I used to take my hands down and go like this, but instead, no hands, but the leg comes up into a lunge. Yay. Then no hands, curl the back toes, lifting the heel, lifting your knee. And look where we are, it's all good. Now you're gonna come on up and stand on your right leg. Actually, let's stand on 2 legs. Because we didn't do anything else, did we? Oh yeah, we did, I think. Yeah, all right, so now you have to bring you're on your right leg, bring your left knee up. I think we just went right into dancer, so I apologize if we didn't do something. Your right arm is going to go up. Your left hand is going to reach to the inside or outside of that left foot. You're kicking that left foot back. You're hinging at your hips. Try not to look down. It is a back bend. Your left knee stays in line with your left hip. The belly is pulled in. Shoulders are easy. You're breathing. Fullest expression. And then go ahead and release from that. And put your foot down. And then just round your spine down. If you like to stay rounded, you do. If you want a flat back, you do that. And you can grab your big toe with your peace fingers. The knees can bend, the elbows can go out to the side to get you a little closer to your legs. And then breathe into your back. Relax your neck and shoulders.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
So my knees are bent, and I'm going to ask that you come into a chair pose from here. So you can release your toes and bend your knees, sit your hips back, make sure your knees don't travel forward over your toes. And then if you can, you're lifting your chest and lifting your arms. We're not going to stay here very long because we are going to add a twist here. Take your hands to heart center. You're going to twist to the right. You can take that left elbow to the outside of the right thigh and stay right here, or you can open your arms up. Come back to the center quickly to the other side because this is an awful lot of work. And open that up if you want. And then go ahead and forward fold just for a moment, brief moment. Let's come back into our down dog. One more vinyasa. So you're in your down dog. Again, you're going to come through into your high plank, knees, chest, chin, or low plank. Let's stay down for one more back bend. So you could do your cobra here first, and then we're going into locust. So your head, neck, and shoulders are down. Your arms are down by your side. Turn your head to one side and the other. Preparing. Just noticing. And take your nose to the center. And then prepare yourself here. A nice long spine, long low back, long neck, belly working, breathing. You're going to do this in stages. I'd like to have you bring your chest up. Then bring your hands up. Then bring your thighs up. And we'll stay here for 3 breaths. You should be able to wiggle around in your breath. One more. And then lower everything down. You can bend your knees, windshield wiper your legs so that your low back feels good. You can also turn your head. We're coming into pigeon however you like it. I'm doing a pigeon, so actually you're going to sit back into child's pose for a moment from that back bend. So just round yourself in the opposite direction. And we're going to do a pigeon. So you can be on your back to do your pigeon, but your right leg is going to come forward so that your shin is toward the short side of your mat. And then your left leg is in line with your left hip. And you can stay here in this pigeon that is very, very alert. Or you can slide down to a rested pigeon. You decide what you want to do today. You can always go on your back and take that right leg on top of your left. So recall your intention. This might be a good time to recall it. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure you're really aware of what you're feeling. And maybe wiggle around a little bit. Nobody said you had to stay completely still. If you have a feeling like a crunched right knee, you can really flex your right foot. Either way, I'm going to ask that you come up with your hands closer to your shin. And then you're going to press into your hands so that you can lift the back knee. For a brief moment, we're coming into a down dog split. And you can bend the knee, stack the hips. So there was some compression in there. You're getting rid of the compression. And then we'll do our pigeon on the other side. I don't know that we did all of this circling of the leg and stacking the hips on both sides. So make sure you get that done. Your left shin is coming forward. And your right leg is in line with the rest of your, that right hip. So you can stay up, very alert. Long low back, shoulders down, chest lifted, or you can rest. Make sure you're breathing and that the head isn't holding any extra tension in your neck or your jaw. If your left knee is a little bit particular, you'll want to flex your left foot. Such good stretches. Walk your hands to your shin. We're doing a down dog split here, so you're going to curl the back toes, lift the back knee so you can come into your down dog split. Anything goes here to get rid of any compression. I'm going to ask that you find a seat and lie down on your back from here. I'm going to unmute you. So go ahead and find yourself on your back. Good stuff. So anything else that you want to do before you just rest a bit, that could mean a bridge. That could mean legs up. That could mean legs over in a shoulder stand. Could mean that the thighs just rest towards your chest. So since this is the really cooling down part of class, you want to again be aware of your breath. Slowing it down a little, you could do a supine twist. I'm showing some of these things too. You could take a big stretch. So at some point, you're going to feel as though the spine is as long as you can make it. You're going to reap the benefits of having moved around for an hour. Let the legs fall out, arms fall out. Let your head rest, rib cage rest, pelvis rest, legs rest. I'm just going to keep track of the time, so just go ahead and release. Just notice your jaw. Notice the heartbeat. So I'm going to spend another minute here, but I want you to be awakening yourself. Your favorite way of waking up, maybe it's wiggling the toes. Maybe it's stretching. Maybe you notice some tension and just rub it out. For instance, my head feels like it's in a little vise.
So I'm going to unvice it. I don't know how to do that, but I'm trying. You're going to bend your knees and then roll over to your favorite side. You can make a pillow out of your arm. Stay here a moment. And on purpose, think of some gratitude, even if it's just that you carved this hour out for yourself, that your body moves like this. You're going to rise up to a seated position slowly, mindfully having a seat. We didn't start this way, we were barely here. But now we are sitting tall on the sit bones. Shake everything out, loosen things up so that you can sit here for 1 or 2 more breaths. Take your hands to heart center. Move the thumbs to between your eyebrows. Nod your chin towards your chest and lift your heart towards your chin. Release things. And namaste.
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 Hey. Thank you very much. You made my
Thank you.
day. Truly.
Oh, doggy.
Lucas
Hello.
as well.
What? Say that again.
Lucas enjoyed your class as well. He was
Lucas.
downward dog.
Sweet. Where was he most of the time?
Just right next to my mat.
That's so sweet. Very
Yeah.
sweet. Have a really good afternoon, the rest of you, and the weekend. Thank you really, really for being here.
Thank you.
Really, really.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It was great, Susan.
Thank you, Missy. It was great seeing you. Thanks for coming.
Oh,
Bye,
thanks.
Susan. Have a good weekend.
You.
Mwah. Missy, truly, thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you.